I think about it from my heart, right? Yeah. Not from my brain, because I know all the
most important,
right? So think from my heart. Why would Satoshi make Bitcoin? Okay, and my heart says to me, he must be so oppressed. He must be under such an oppression in his life. He has to have seen the most difficult times in humanity in his life, to have seen the tragedies of how currency affected him in a personal way, to be so motivated to take such a dedicated amount of time to build something that would make such a profound impact, and to devote himself entirely to that one thing, knowing that it might not even make a difference, but with a belief that it could. And you have to have faith of a major kind, and only because you have been oppressed will you have that kind of a faith. It's like when they say that in a society of illusion, enlightened people are a product of a natural product. In a society of oppression, in a life of oppression, somebody has to come up, just like this is the natural order of things. When things do not make sense in nature, something emerges to rebalance and create an equilibrium. And for me, I believe that had to have happened on a very deep personal level for someone, to have made such a strong commitment and then see that commitment through, even if he wasn't the greatest coder in the world, even if he's not the world's best mathematician, maybe he's not even the best cryptographer, but he saw something that had to change deeply. And if it didn't, then life would not be worth living to that level.
It does make a lot of sense though, because in Japan the economy is not really helping anybody.
But it has to be deeper than just that, because people will argue that. They'll say, sure, okay, in Japan it's not helping, but you can get by, you got some money, you can still live your life. Look, people
I think
are living their
more
lives.
than beyond that is more just personal values of himself.
I think that...
But the thing is, the Japanese culture is really strong.
As an individual, it's okay.
There was a bit of an obstacle with the language, I guess. Raining. I haven't met you yet, have I?
No.
Adi.
Elvin.
Nice to meet you. What's up?
Whatever apps. You have to store documents.
How's the impression of it?
Is that your killer move?
It doesn't really work that good.
I think you just dropped the cigarette.
I was sharing with Alden here my own philosophy, belief, why Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin.
Why he created it or why he evaporated?
No, why he created Bitcoin.
Under what circumstances was he
Now I
in?
have him go.
Does make sense.
I was sharing what circumstances.
And I was saying because the Japanese culture is really strong. So I don't know, the mindset, and they have this. I guess Asians have this. They have a better understanding of like culture and spirituality. So maybe in that sense, that's how being in Japan helps, not just the economy.
And that's assuming that he's Japanese or anything.
Did y'all see that video of? It was a bunch of people here at this conference speaking on a panel, and some guy stood up in the Q&A and was like, "I am Satoshi Nakamoto. I invented Bitcoin. Well, I invented Bitcoin in 2010 or 2009 to fight banks." And he goes on this like,
don't want to tell anyone your identity.
No one knows who Satoshi is.
Call it
You can't be
Q or
like,
something.
"You're not Satoshi." Like it could be. So it was like real awkward, and he got applauded. Like everybody thought this was like Satoshi coming out of the closet.
At this conference?
Yeah, this conference, and all the people panelists were like, "Dude, you're not Satoshi."
Rafael? Hey, Rafael. I think he's dead. Are you dead?
You learn something every day, Paul.
What's going on, guys?
You're not wearing your glasses, are you?
We're talking about why Satoshi created Bitcoin over here.
Oh, Prometheus giving man fire. That's all it was. Just the Greek becoming real. Do you have a light?
I don't.
Hi.
Do you have a light?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Why do you think he
I'm
created
Satoshi
Bitcoin?
Nakamoto.
We all are.
Who is Satoshi? Is more interesting. Why? It's obvious. Why?
I think why is more interesting than who.
No. Why is
Who cares who is he?
Tell us why.
Why they try? They're trying to create. Everybody is trying to create a decentralized system for finances for about 15, 20 years now. And
But why
Satoshi
would, why
just
would one person want to do it?
well, that's why I'm asking that's why I'm saying that
But
who
why,
is
why
Satoshi
should
is
tell
more
you-
important
why,
than
but
why.
why would answer who if you thought about it? Because if you knew exactly why one person did something, like why did Einstein do what Einstein did? Why did Newton do what Newton did?
I'm sorry, I have a question. Why is who he is so important?
It's not, but it's it's part of the romanticism in Bitcoin. We have that. We have the option to romanticize about Bitcoin, and I
think the why is
appreciate it.
Well, I'm of the belief that the why answers the who.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I
vice
think
versa.
everything you need to know about the why is in that. The one thing that he inputted into the blockchain was like, second bailout looms, Chancellor speaks. So I don't remember the exact words.
The right guy, right? Why Bitcoin?
I got the paper.
No
Yeah,
pun
yeah,
intended.
yeah. So I remember the story because I lost.
You're talking about on the Genesis block?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason that he did that was theorized that he wanted to date the blockchain so that it was.
So he could have picked anything,
Sure, of course.
and he picked that.
Yep.
Yeah, he wanted to date the
And
blockchain with that.
He's smart enough to know, like, if he's been hidden for this long, he's smart enough to have already thought the implications out and know that he needs to be hidden, or she, or whoever. And so he's already forward-thinking enough, and yet he still chooses that to be.
Okay,
in the
so
Genesis
so
block.
what does that mean? Interpreting.
Oh, honestly, think of patterns. Think of history. Think of what's happened to great leaders because they've been known. That's it. That's all you have to think about. Patterns in history.
But
and
why
then see
why did he do it?
So
Why make
to
it?
me, that would say that he's clearly of either an Austrian bent or someone who is. The people I've talked to theorize that if it's not a government agency that did it, then it was somebody who had programming background who worked for a hedge fund. And if you're a free market guy, really capitalistic, nothing pissed you off more than TARP and the bailouts. I mean, it was like the ultimate slap in the face. So that's my.
So the date of his quote, that quote went into the Genesis block. How relative was it that date to when Bitcoin was published?
It was published the day. No, the Bitcoin was published
for 4 to 6 months before the
46.
4 to 6. I
Okay,
can't
so
remember
4 to
exactly.
6 months before that bailout.
No, before the
first Genesis.
announced that there is a.
Okay, so then my question then is, did he only start working on this 6 months before that?
No, wait.
announcement?
He probably
Okay.
worked in it 10
Okay,
to 15
so then-
Oh, you
years.
don't
So-
know that.
No, but
He probably
okay.
worked in it. Not
Okay,
knowing
I'm
he's
making a point.
working
I'm
on it.
making a point. My point is that if that quote is relative to Satoshi and he only started working on it 6 months, okay, that would make sense. But if he started working way more than 6 months, then that quote is new. And he had a reason to make Bitcoin before that quote.
Well, the major bailout happened in 2008, so you know.
So
the
did
major
he only
bank
start
crash.
working? Okay, so what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then he had to have started working well
But he
before
had to have
2008.
had a light bulb moment, right?
No,
Okay.
That's
Maybe,
where
yeah.
the quote came in.
The publishing of the paper
Sure.
was the design, and I'm pretty certain that almost all the code was written after the publishing of the paper. Because there's certain things that he said that in the design in his paper that are not true. Like his paper says there will be only one output, and there are multiple outputs on the transaction.
Sure, there were things that he changed, but for him to, if you look at the cryptography message board leading up to the publication of the paper, he was answering questions based on the protocol that he, even if he didn't write the code, he had already logically analyzed what he had already designed the implementation because he was answering questions from people that were very complicated cryptography questions that he had already said, oh, this is how this will work. So
Right.
he had figured out a logical explanation for each of those cases. So even if he didn't code it, he had designed what pseudocode or something.
But that is
My
pseudo
assumption
logic.
is that it took him about a year to actually come up with the entire design from the moment he decided to do it.
Okay.
Because all the information already existed.
Sure.
The geniosity of Satoshi that he took all the system that was out there, all the systems that were out there back then, and he just made them work together. That's what he did. He didn't invent much on his own. He took existing systems.
Sure,
like
he
proof of work.
used
systems and perfected them.
Exactly.
he used a known encryption, right? He didn't invent encryption. He implemented known economic ideas and digital money wasn't
Used
a new
known
concept. It was already
existing-
attempted.
Samples of proof of work.
Yep.
Before, it was the first proof of work was established.
Email.
2000. Yeah, for email. For spam, writing spam in 1994. So that was like almost more than a decade before actually Satoshi probably started working on this. So if he started working on this, let's say sometime in 2008, when he realized that he can and should build something like that, it probably took him about a year to come up with the entire solution. And when he came up with the basic solution, which is the white paper that you discussed, that you say that there was only one output there, he then released it instead of sitting on it and continue developing on its own. He released it and then started developing it.
Okay, philosophically though, it doesn't still answer the question of why he did it as opposed to anyone else that knew all of these things.
Why did Newton do it? Why did
Well, that's
Einstein
my
do it?
point. That's my point. Is that why did one
Innovation
person?
is rare.
Okay, so what pushes a person to innovate like this?
Discouraged.
Okay, exactly. So that's my point. Is looking at the psychology of Satoshi, he had to have been extremely oppressed as a person or seen oppression in a way that was
I'm not
so
impressed. I'm not oppressed. I wasn't being oppressed for the last 10, 15 years.
Okay, and you like Bitcoin as a concept because intellectually and maybe on a spiritual level it makes sense on a social level. But it's different because you didn't innovate Bitcoin, you adopted it. But for someone to take a complete commitment of their life to see something from start to finish,
We don't know that.
No. I'm saying a commitment from start to finish to something that may or may not have worked. He had to have had a very significant motivating factor beyond just thinking it was a pretty good idea.
To be honest, I think it was back in the 80s that he said.
I have a background.
And you take a picture.
with 30 years to book. I have built systems and innovated systems and forced innovation on people that didn't want it.
And it wasn't started
Okay.
in 2008. I think he's been
I
waiting
think
for 2007. He
The
was
desire
waiting
to
for
solve the
2007
problem is
to
sufficient,
start exposing
regardless
what you have. Why
of.
wouldn't you?
Regardless of
when
You
there's
say it
the
was too
vast
early
I
back
don't
then.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think
too
so
early in the
because
90s. Think
he
of what was
wasn't
going on in
solving
the
a
90s.
problem.
But people tried to do
had
it.
in the 90s, but he waited
irrelevant.
to
I
release
think
it.
he was perfect.
Otherwise,
Like you said,
he
a
wouldn't
bunch
have
of
gotten
plot
involved. If he
systems.
didn't have a
Geniuses.
personal
Anyone needs
motivation
time. A good
to see a
artist needs
change in the
time.
world,
Agreed.
Right.
and that personal
Monet does
motivation
not
is
create in
psychological.
one night.
Well, yes,
Neither does
but
Picasso. Actually, you had to die in order to become
once
who he
they
was.
know a
That's not the
problem and
point.
they define
Why?
the problem
Why
and
fame?
they
It's
define
not about the fame.
how
No, he doesn't care about
Really,
it.
not
then
about
they
yeah.
become
It's
very
about
committed
perfecting
to
the flawed
implementing
He
system.
doesn't care about the fame.
In a
I'm talking about the, I'm
He
talking
doesn't
about the
care about
source
fame. He
of
doesn't
all
care
of that
about money because all of his
interest in looking
bitcoins
at the
are
problem.
still in there.
Okay, so-
He's a multi-millionaire right now, more than a multi-millionaire. He's a billionaire
He's trying
right
to show
now.
that money doesn't matter to people, you know.
And then greed
For people,
is
for
worse.
people,
I'll
for
ask
people,
this.
for humanity,
to you that money doesn't matter to you.
for humanity to,
cares about money?
I don't care. For humanity,
care about money.
for humanity to move forward, for humanity to move forward, we need to abolish money in a sense.
Thank you. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. And I think that's what he saw. And he was waiting for the crash of 2007, for that desperate necessity, for that new idea to come along. And it started launching, slowly launching. He tossed the ball and made it roll. And then you see all the people starting to dance, like the video we saw. That crazy guy dancing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Satoshi is actually sitting up there, because I think if you were Satoshi, you invented something like this, you would release it in 2008,
And
then
just
you would
babysit.
babysit for a while, for a year like he did, and then you disappear, and then you just come in. The
That's
moment
a real
you hear your
person.
first friend talking about Bitcoin, that's when you know it's okay for you to come in.
Okay,
So
shifting the gears a little, just because you said that he may be in there. Shifting the gears in a second, just to play the devil's advocate. And also because I've talked to certain people in this conference, it kind of piqued my curiosity and also made me take two steps back because I know who they are.
Oh, I think they're
In the conference, we had agents, yeah, in there. I don't know if anybody noticed, but most of them were the ones asking silly questions. And everybody's like, what kind of questions is that? But the secret, nobody said anything, but nobody realized that these are spies. And we're answering their questions, so why not? We're transparent like water, that's great, but not for everyone. And why not? He might be up there. Hi. He might be out there. Why not? If we have those people with us, why not? I would. I mean, honestly, if I
No,
was
I
there,
just
I would do that. I would
exactly.
I need to talk to you.
Not
and
just
say
witness. You
anything.
would want to participate in this incredible revolution.
But would you
But how
know?
exactly? And that how you do it by joining the first friends that notice it, and you say, "Oh, this is a cool idea," and you just become one
What
of
do
them.
you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? Oh yeah. Well, you know what I think? You know, and then
I have an interesting business idea for this. Let's do like a, I don't know, let's do a meetup.
association.
By the way, I'm Ali. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How?
Adi.
Heidi. Okay.
I think I met you for a split second, but I forgot your name.
Elvin.
Sorry, I'm bad.
Elvin.
I need to see them.
You're from? Where are you from?
Planet Earth.
Great. But locally?
Where am I living now?
Yeah, where are you based?
Texas.
Texas.
I'm from Singapore. I'm living in Rotterdam.
That's one of the things I adore about Bitcoin. I noticed it from the first second that I started.
Global.
Not the globalization, the diversity of the people that join it. If you go to, I don't know, a meetup for computer science or computer development or web development, whatever it is, it's a certain kind of people.
Yeah.
I think what's bigger is
It's
passion.
not the type A usual BS. They're the fake salesmen that are all talk. No. This is people with good ideas, innovation, geniuses. You have the creme of the creme
And
here
they're
with
doing
them.
it
don't
out
care
of
about
the
money.
ideology.
People don't care about money.
People that don't care because it's not about that. It's about making that plant grow. Look how beautiful it is. Let's make it grow. And that's magic.
We know we're gonna make our money.
Yeah.
We don't care about it.
That's
That's not our problem. We just
exactly
want to change the world.
Yes.
We're sick of this fucked up system. I'm sorry about the language, and we just want to
Yes.
change it for ourselves
This
and
year
for our
is gonna
kids.
collapse. This year is gonna collapse.
This is not gonna last.
Nope.
This
It's
is
gonna
not
happen this
last.
year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're changing it right now. They're not noticing
This
it.
year, a lot of things will happen. This year is a weird start, and you guys know that already. We're only in February, and it's the weirdest year ever, 2014. So in the next 30 to 60 days, the rules of Bitcoins will change. You know this very well.
The rules of
The
Bitcoin.
rules of the entire game are going to change. Embrace yourselves.
Okay.
So now is the moment to make the money or invest in Bitcoins for us that know about it.
Okay.
And if you want to bring anybody on board, you do. Our food's here?
Oh, thanks for that.
Let's go, guys.
I'm willing to venture back up. If it's there.